So, how did we get here? How did we go from this to this, where I currently am? And it is a sort of a long story, but I think it is a common story for guys like me, and just bad habits. And it wasn't definitely was not an overnight thing. I mean, nothing ever is, and it's a lot of bad habits. So, this is the first video I'm putting out on this channel, and called The Fat Dad. Uh, pretty it says it all. I am fat. I am a dad. And I know some of my friends like, oh, you're not fat. Well, and I don't say that to, I don't want my kids to talk negative. I don't talk like that. But let's just, I mean, face it, I'm not in the shape I was. And I feel like it's all too common amongst fathers. And we just get in our lives, we get in the habits. And next thing you know, it's, where we've put on 30, 50, 60 pounds versus where we want to be. Now, I'm not saying everyone has to be. Anyone doesn't have to do anything. Do whatever you want. And I don't expect to be, super super lean year round forever. However, where I'm at currently should not be somewhere I want to be either. It's just uncomfortable, and there's a lot of things that go along with it. And so to kind of kick off this journey, what this channel is going to be about, what to expect, and even if you care, just kind of go back from where I'm, where we started. So currently, I'm 41 years old, father of two girls, and married. Now, I am also a competitive bodybuilder. I say that I competed in 6-ish years, give or take, but I've done quite a few shows, and I've put on weight before, but never where it was so easy to be so heavy. Now, some people, I understand, like, whatever your goals are, they're your goals. So I got up to 251, which it was an all-time high for me, and it was not that long ago, just maybe a month or so ago. And my competitive stage weight is in the 170s. So stage weight is relative, but honestly, where I need to be and should be is right around that 200 mark. So it's 50 pounds above that. And how did I get there? Well, and I'm currently 239, 240, didn't get on the scale today. So I'm working my way down, and we'll get into that more in future videos. Well, obviously, dieting is its own thing, right? And when I dieted, I was, structured like everyone who does diet, and you have the habits in place, and everything is just kind of laid out. There was usually no deviation. And also at the time, I was a cop, I was a detective, and also doing real estate. So I was always busy, always on my feet, and days just went a certain way. Well, since then, I've left the law enforcement field and been full-time real estate. And you're busy, you're stressed. I have two daughters, like everyone else. Everyone has their excuses. But what happened was, it was not like an overnight one thing. It was bad habits that just crept in, and just time after time, and just as time built, next thing you know, those bad habits just became my habits. And I found myself making choices that I know I know better. We all know better for the most part, about what we should eat, what we should do. And I never stopped training. I love training. I love the gym. It's as much mental as it is physical. But I found myself, oh, I'm just going to swing by the drive-through and grab something quick, or I'm not going to track, or I'll track like, whatever. I've already gone off the rails. Might as well make it full blown, screwed up day. And that is not something I would ever recommend. And we all know better. And little by little, I found myself going from, I planned after that show to stay at a certain, level of body fat, which I did. And then, we get busy. And next thing you know, the pounds just pack on. And, I don't think I've ever, 251 was my all time high. And I hit 240s once, but usually, like, whenever I put on weight and not track, I was, 220s. And I found my new body fat set point being higher and higher. And now it is easy for me to stay above 240. And I started looking at this. What do I want? What do I want for my daughters and myself? The quote of, a lot of people would die for their kids, but how many would actually get healthy for their kids? And that stuck with me. You want to be around for your kids, and not that I'm morbidly obese, but definitely this takes a toll. I feel it on my joints and everything else, and I also feel my clothes, and you just don't feel like the way that I look compared to what I want to be, what I know, and just for movement and everything else. And to set the examples for my daughters about working hard, following a plan, and seeing it through. So that is the goal. And so on this channel, I'm just going to update weekly. Here's where I'm at. Here's what I'm doing. Here's why I'm doing it. And I've worked with a lot of great people, a lot of great people in the industry, and I've helped people get in fantastic shape as well. And that's the frustrating part. I have this knowledge, but if I'm not using it, then what is the point? So, and I've had people contact me to work with them to help get them in shape. I'm like, well, I kind of feel like a hypocrite if I'm helping someone else, but I'm not taking my own advice and putting it into action. So that is what we're doing, and that's what I've been doing now for a little while. Go down from 251 now to 240, and every day we're just going to update. And my goal now, lose 2 pounds a week and go down to the 190s, and then we will reevaluate. I'm still training 6 days a week, and that varies for what I'm doing and training hard. And right now my macros are I need to pull it up because I just adjusted, but we're around 70 grams of fat, 300 carbs, and 200 grams of protein, give or take. And that is what we're going to diet on and go from there. Cardio is minimum, but I do some walking just to get my steps in. Being in real estate, being more sedentary, I find myself not moving as much. So 10,000 steps is where I found that I need to be just to keep things moving. I feel better. And I live in Arizona. There's so many great spots just to go out and hike and, again, be with my family and be with our daughters out. And if that counts as, a workout, even better. So, there's no better place that to live than Arizona as far as getting some workouts in. But I know I'm not alone in this. I know there's other, people like me, moms, dads, everyone alike that have found themselves, all of a sudden, but not all of a sudden, they look back like, what the hell happened? How did I get here? And so many people feel helpless. And there's so much, I'm gonna call it information, but noise out there of, oh, I'm gonna do this diet or this diet. Oh, but this one said this diet's bad, or I shouldn't eat this food. And it gets overwhelming. So I'm going to show and document what I'm doing and hopefully maybe help some of you understand that it doesn't have to be as complicated as, social media and all of the influencers, whatever you want to say, make it out to be. It's simple. It's just not easy. But over time, when you start to develop those habits and that consistency, then the results will happen. I love the analogy that I've heard. I believe it was Sohee Lee. I think that's still her last name. But with the paper towel analogy, take a roll of paper towel and each day you're removing a piece, right? And you're not going to notice anything right away. And that is, how fat loss works. Each day you're, dropping fat, you're just being consistent and it's not linear, but you're just, peeling away. Then you look back after, maybe, 180 days, 300 days, and you look and it's like, my gosh, like there's that pile of paper towels that were down into the tube. And same with fat loss, the time is going to come regardless. So, a year from now, you're going to look back and wish you had started. But again, don't rush the process, trust the process. And that is where I'm at right now. So thank you again. Hopefully this will be fun. You'll get some enjoyment, maybe some information, some encouragement along the way. But I'm looking forward to just sharing what I'm doing, sharing some workouts, nutrition, and the process to get me down to where I need to be and go from there. But again, thanks so much for watching. It is The Fat Dad, and I'll see you on the next video.